This is the Berman Method podcast featuring Dr. Jake Berman and physician assistant Jenni Berman. We are here to treat problems and not symptoms. Disclaimer, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and not to treat anyone or to give medical advice. If you are interested in any information that we are giving and would like to use this for yourself, we recommend that you contact your primary care physician or reach out to us and ask us questions about yourself specifically. Enjoy.
And we're back. The Berman Method podcast. Dr. Jake Berman here with my beautiful wife,
Jenni Bear Berman.
Jenni Bear Berman. I hope everybody had a phenomenal Thanksgiving week last week. And we are in the first week of December.
This is crazy. What about Black Friday?
Not worried about Black Friday.
Oh. In a game this weekend. We had a game this weekend.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Cool. So what we want to talk about today is exercise, specifically exercise progression. And we're going to go over some definitions because there's a lot of misnomers or myths. Yes, there's a lot of myths out there about exercise. So we're going to go give a very basic definition of what exercise actually is, because there are a lot of people that are listening to this podcast that do quote unquote exercise. I'm sure that every single person listening to this is not just sitting at home on the couch eating Doritos or Cheetos or whatever. I'm sure that there's a ton of people listening to this thing that actually do make an effort to exercise on a consistent basis, whether it be once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, 7 times a week, doing something regularly every single day. So now what we want to do is talk about the actual definition of exercise, because once you know the true definitions of certain things, you may or may not be doing it 100% efficiently or effectively, meaning that there could be room to get better results or a bigger return on investment. Say that good enough?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Continue.
So let's start off with the most basic definition of exercise.
What is it?
Progressive.
Exercise is progressive.
Yes. Progressive, meaning that something always has to be progressing on a regular basis. Doesn't have to be every single day or every single week, but it does have to be on a regular basis. There's 3 things that you can progress when you're exercising. Number 1 is weight. So you can progress the amount of weight that you're lifting or moving for a certain exercise, meaning that if you're lifting 10 pounds today, in 2 weeks, try lifting 12 pounds.
Right.
So that's how you would progress weight. What's the second thing you could progress?
Repetitions.
So if you're doing 10 reps today, in 2 weeks, maybe you're doing 12 reps.
Right.
So we're progressing the reps. What's the third thing you could progress?
Sets.
So if you're doing 3 sets of 10 reps this week, meaning that you do 10 reps, you rest, you do 10 reps, you rest, you do 10 reps again, and then you're done. That's 3 sets of 10 reps. Maybe next week you do 4 sets of 10 reps. So the total amount of repetitions goes from 30 this week to 40 next week just by increasing the sets. So those are the 3 things that you have to progress on a regular basis. You don't have to do all 3 at once. You can mix and match, because if you're not progressing over time, then you, by definition, are not exercising. You are just working.
Right.
Why does it matter if you're just working?
Well, you're not improving.
So I actually heard this on Peloton this morning. I was on the bike Pelotoning, and who was it? I think it was Hannah, my girl Hannah. And she goes, we got to push ourselves out of our comfort zone, because as soon as you do something that's really hard, if you do the same exact thing the next time, it won't be as hard the second time as it was the first time. and then you do that same exact hard thing a third time, it won't be as hard the third time as it was the second time. And the reason why is because your body acclimates. It acclimates to the demands that you're placing on it. So if you exercise, quote unquote, exercise every single day, and you're doing the same exact thing every single day, you by definition are no longer exercising. You are just working. And working, is it good or bad?
Work is good, but it's just consistent.
Yeah.
It's not progressive.
Yeah. Work is good. It's just consistent. But the problem is, this is where it starts to get interesting. And this is something that I hope people really hear when I say this is, in this world, nothing stays the same. There's not a single thing that stays the same in this world. You're either growing or you're not growing. You're either living or you're dying, right? Nothing stays the same. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. That's the best way to think of it. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. So if you do the same exact thing every single day and you think that you're maintaining, you're really not maintaining. You are regressing. And it starts to get a little deep. But if you can let yourself think about it a little bit deeper, you'll start to see what I mean by you're no longer maintaining, you're regressing. Because if you look at this thing over time, that's where you start to see. If you did 3 sets of 10 with 10 pounds every single day, because everything around you is changing, your body is constantly changing, the environment around you is constantly changing, 20 years from now, you will not be as strong as you were today.
Right. Right. And I say it all the time too, the metabolism stops responding when we do the same things every single day in and out, whether it's with your food or exercise. The body stops responding. So the metabolism is actually breaking down and slowing down. So again, to your point, if I do the same exact thing for 5 years and don't change a single thing, I'm actually going to end up gaining weight or losing muscle mass over the next 5 years, even though I'm still lifting the same amount of weight.
Because nothing stays the same.
Right. So we have to change. And so I'm going to go back is now a good time to pause you? Okay,
Yep.
Good. Sometimes he just gets on these rants and I can't even get a word in. Geez. So I'm going to go back to the progression of the weight reps and sets. As Jake mentioned, you don't have to do all 3 at the same time. So you don't have to increase your weight, increase your sets and your reps, but we will change it up every single week. So one week we'll have where we're doing 5 rounds of our superset, but then our repetitions will be a little less and the weight's a little heavier. And then we may go to only doing 3 sets with our reps at 12, so a little bit more and the weight a little lighter. There's weeks where we'll do 10 rounds of certain supersets.
Those are my favorite weeks.
Do you sense the sarcasm?
Oh my gosh. I dread those weeks.
You don't like the 1,000 rep days?
Dread them.
And to each their own. So, but it is important to do things that you don't like. Jake has to do things he doesn't like, and I have to do things I don't like, because that's the body telling you that it's struggling, which struggles are good. Struggles mean progression. We're working, but we're exercising.
Yeah, the struggle means that you're out of your comfort zone. Nothing in general, right? In general, you don't grow inside your comfort zone. It's not until you're pushed outside of your comfort zone do you actually grow, because you're pushed to a point that you didn't think that you could do, or you didn't want to do, and you were forced to do, and that's what causes growth.
Correct. I agree. And muscle soreness is good. We need to touch base on that a little bit too. If your muscles are feeling sore, that's good. That's the muscle fibers breaking down and remodeling to either become stronger fibers or bigger fibers, muscle hypertrophy. So being sore is good. There is a balance, of course, but soreness is good. And that means that you've actually done something beneficial. And next week, you may repeat that same kind of superset you did, but push yourself one step further.
Yeah, and since you're talking about this right now, I think it's important to say, especially in my realm, in the physical therapy pain realm, sometimes people struggle to know what is the right pain to feel. So let's touch on it real quick, because there's pain or discomfort that you can feel during exercise that is good and bad. And then there's pain or discomfort that you can feel post-exercise that can be good or bad.
Right.
So real quickly, real superficially, when you're exercising and you feel discomfort, is it that burning sensation where your muscles are just really fatiguing and the lactic acid is building up and it feels like your muscles are burning? Or is it actually pain where you're saying, I'm doing this motion right now and I feel pain? This does not feel productive. For a lot of people, it can be very challenging to discern between those two things. It can be very challenging to say, is this productive pain or not? The way that you can decide the two or differentiate the two is good pain when you're feeling those muscles burning and fatiguing generally stops intensifying as soon as you stop doing the movement. So if you're doing squats and your legs start burning and fatiguing, as soon as you stop squatting, that intensity should start to diminish, and it should be completely resolved within a minute, 2 minutes at the absolute most, versus non-productive pain. If you feel pain while you're doing squats, you stop squatting, that pain will tend to linger and it doesn't really decrease as fast. That is one way that you can tell good pain versus bad pain, right?
Right.
And then the day after pain, this is what's really important. This is what Jenny was talking about a minute ago, is when you're doing a bunch of squats today and it hurts to get out of the chair tomorrow, that's generally a good pain. That's called DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. So DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. And what causes that pain is essentially when you're working out, you're tearing the muscle fibers. And you don't really feel it while you're doing it until the next day when those things start to rebuild and there's lactic acid still in the muscles and it just hurts to get out of the chair. But after you take 5 or 10 steps, that pain kind of diminishes because you're getting blood flow in there again. That's how you know that it's DOMS and not a bad thing, versus if it was a bad thing the next day, it hurts to get out of the chair and it keeps hurting as you're walking, and it hurts to go back down in the chair and it doesn't really change. So those are a couple of ways to help you discern, is this productive pain or is this non-productive pain? We are not in high school. We're not in the NFL. It is not okay to work through non-productive pain.
Oh. Oh, yeah. So that's good. And, muscle soreness is different than, joint pain as well. So if your joints are hurting, that's usually not a good thing. But if it's the muscle, then usually it's okay.
What if your joints are stiff?
What you're saying, you don't get old and then stiff, you get stiff and then old?
Yes, that's my favorite saying. You don't get old and then stiff. You get stiff and then you get old. So I was actually referring to this funny card that I forget where I saw them, but there's this picture of these two older ladies on the card. And the one lady says, "My joints are stiff." And the other lady says, "You're rolling them too tight."
Oh.
But anyways, that saying is so right. You don't get old and then stiff. You get stiff and then you get old. What that means is if you don't maintain your mobility, meaning if you don't keep moving and grooving, if you don't make yourself get up and down from the ground without using your hands on a regular basis, there will be a day where you have to do that motion and you can't do it, or it's going to feel painful, or it's going to feel stiff. And the first thing that pops into your mind when you feel that is, oh my gosh, I'm getting old. So you get stiff and then you get old. You don't get old and then you get stiff. I hope that makes perfect sense to everybody out there. I hope that's clear as an opaque window. Yeah. No, seriously, I hope that's clear to everybody. You get stiff and then you get old. So if you want to avoid getting old, don't get stiff.
Keep moving.
Yeah.
Motion is lotion.
Motion is lotion. Good motion is lotion.
Progressive
motion.
Exercise.
Good.
Yeah. To kind of recap, we have sets, repetitions, and weight. We want to be progressing all three, not necessarily at the same time every week, but changing it up 1 week looking at your weights, 1 week looking at your reps, 1 week looking at your sets, and doing all different combinations in order to have progressive strengthening, toning, weight management.
Okay, let's give a really clear, simple example so that people know exactly what it looks like to progress one, two, or three of those things. So let's use squats, or if you don't like squats, let's use sit to stand from a chair. Let's use 3 sets of 10 reps.
With body weight only.
Body weight only, so no weight at all.
Right.
So week 1, you're doing 3 sets of 10 reps, which equals to 30 total repetitions for week 1. Week 2, let's progress the amount of sets that we do. So we're going to do 4 sets of 10 reps. So for week 2, the total amount of repetitions is 40. So we're progressing. Mm-hmm. Week 3, let's progress the repetitions and not the sets. So week 3, we'll do 4 sets of 15.
Ooh.
So that's a pretty big jump there, right?
It is. You could even maybe go back to 3 sets of 15 and then work to 4 sets of 15 as well.
You could, because that would still be by definition progressing. Mm-hmm. So if we did 4 sets of 15, now we're talking about 60 reps total for that week. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Where's my calculator at?
I had to do the math. Uh-huh.
So we've progressed sets, we've progressed reps. Intensity or weight is the third one. So intensity and weight is synonymous. So we could go back in week 4 and say 3 sets at 10 reps, but go down super duper slow and come up super duper slow. So you're slowing down the actual motion, which actually intensifies the exercise itself. So you're increasing the intensity of 3 sets of 10 reps of squats or sit to stands by slowing down the motion. Right.
Or you could perhaps hold a 5-pound weight in your hand.
Or you could hold weight.
So do 3 sets of 10, but holding a 5-pound weight in your hands as you're sitting and standing, because then you're increasing the intensity as well by adding a few pounds.
Right. The point of this is every single week we've changed something. So I don't want you guys going to the gym every single day, every single week, and doing the same exact thing every single time, because that by definition is not exercise anymore. That is now work. And you will not maintain over years. You'll actually regress, and it's just not going to be good. So just make sure that you're changing it up.
Deal? I like it.
I'm probably most guilty of this. Prior to Stella being born, we went to the gym together every single day. And when I started working out with Jenny back in the day, it really took me out of my comfort zone because I was really flatlined prior to Jenny. Because prior to Jenny, I was working out with a buddy and we were able to push each other back and forth. But I stopped working out with that buddy when I moved to Jacksonville, and I was working out by myself. So over the course while you're in school, we weren't working out together at that time. So about 2 years of me working out by myself, and I could really tell the difference 2 years later that, holy crap, I'm not even close to as strong as I was 2 years ago. And you could see it and you could feel it and you could just tell it wasn't good. And then we started working out again together. And there was not a day that went by that there wasn't some muscle somewhere that was sore. And I'm going, oh my gosh, you are kicking my ass.
Well, and to kind of give people an idea, I don't ever do the same workout twice. So every night I write my workout for the next day. And Jake's like, why don't you just use the one from 2 weeks ago? And I'm like, no, it has to be different. I got to progress. So yeah, go on.
Yeah. So when I started working out with Jenny every single day, that's when I started to really see improvements starting to happen again. I started getting stronger again. I was having a shoulder issue that was starting to creep up on me. And then fast forward a year later from working out with Jenny, I didn't have a shoulder issue anymore. And I was as strong as I've ever been in that shoulder. And now Stella's born.
She's so great.
She is the best. But now I have to exercise or work out by myself again, because if Jenny's at the gym, Jake's at home with Stella. If Jenny's at home with Stella, Jake's at the gym. We very rarely are ever exercising together, except for on Sundays when they have childcare. And it happens on a regular basis, those rare occasions where we do get to exercise together. And at the end of the exercise, I'm going, man, she kicked my ass today. But in actuality, it was just different. It was progressive from what I was doing myself. I was in my comfort zone. I go to the gym or I work out at home, and I pretty much do the same exact thing every single day, unless I go out of my comfort zone and ask Jenny for a workout that I try to force myself to do. So it's really easy to get caught up in doing the same thing over and over again when you're by yourself, right?
Right. And, we even talk about that now with one of us working out at home a couple days a week. We're like, the home workouts are getting a little monotonous. So we're trying to figure out, okay, how can we change it up? What can we do different? So we have to really push ourselves, be creative, get different ideas, look things up on social media, look up on YouTube, some different exercises, different activities, different ways to do your supersets. So... change.
Or join Jenny's mailing list where she sends you exercises every single day.
I do.
Did we forget about that? Did you forget you had that opportunity or that perk?
Well, I didn't forget.
Well, tell people you can get exercises from Jenny every single day.
That's true.
Yep.
True.
Okay, so I hope everybody's got a clearer idea of what exercise is versus what work is. There's no excuse for you not to be exercising when you go to the gym. If you're already going to the gym, you might as well be getting a better return on investment. So sets, reps, intensity, progress one of the three, at least one of the three every 2 weeks at the minimum. What else?
Keep moving
and grooving.
Change it up.
Yeah, don't get old and stiff.
Right. Don't get stiff then old.
Sorry. Yeah, it was backwards.
All right.
Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. I hope everybody has a great day. Feel the burn, baby. Feel the burn. And we will see you next week.
All right.
You didn't say ciao for now.
Ciao for now. Thank you for subscribing on your social media and podcast platforms to the Berman Method. Dr. Jake Berman with Berman Physical Therapy and Jenni Berman, Physician Assistant with Berman Health and Wellness. You can find more information on our website, www.bermanpt.com for physical therapy, bermanpt.com/wellness for the health and wellness. You can also find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and on your podcast platform. So be sure to follow us, like us, subscribe to us. And if you would like any further information, definitely visit our website and reach out to us. You may also find our free reports on the websites as well, where you can download this free information for yourself. Have a great day.